Soulful music. Enjoy.
This is another Impossible production. Fossil Pride.
This is an original instrumental. Soulful music. Enjoy.
This is another Impossible production. Fossil Pride.
This is an original instrumental. Soulful music. Enjoy.
This is another Impossible production. Fossil Pride.
This is an original instrumental. Soulful music. Enjoy.
This is another Impossible production. Fossil Pride.
This is an original instrumental. Soulful music. Enjoy.
This is another Impossible production. Fossil Pride.
This is an original instrumental. Soulful music. Enjoy.
This is another Impossible production.
Hey, turn it up. Turn it up. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? All right, so it's not consulting time. It's not consulting time at all. We are definitely wrapping up, revamping, doing all of those things. But tonight, All Things Authentic is here to speak transparency through truth. So myself and my co-pilot that I have tonight, which I'll be bringing out in just a second. Yesterday was tour stop one of something called CheMinistry Live. And so CheMinistry is a relationship platform. And really and truly, we have to be careful with that word relationship, because a friendship is a relationship. A business partnership is a relationship. So I think that we got to be very careful how we use that word relationship, because sometimes when we're talking about relationships, we generally only focus on them in the romantic aspect. But this particular platform, it was oh God, y'all, it was a crazy experience. I'm gonna bring my co-pilot out, and we're just gonna talk about what we saw, and we might have some special guests to come through. So, guys, bringing First Class to the stage.
Hey,
Honey. So, introduce yourself to the people, and then let's just really talk about what we witnessed yesterday.
woo! Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm First Class. I am um I'm a radio host. I am syndicated on 11 networks. I'm also the fleet model manager. Fleet DJs is the biggest DJ coalition in the world. So I am the manager for 13 models that they have associated with the coalition. And I mean, the list goes on and on. I'm a model and a stylist and things like that. So yeah, I just wanted to just hop into it, We went to this amazing event yesterday, and I really did not know what to expect. I knew that it was called CheMinistry, and I said, okay, well, I knew it's relationships. It was talking about relationships and things of that nature, but I was intrigued, to kind of find out more about it. When I tell you, I did not leave that place feeling the same way that I came in. I was so moved by the speakers, by the audience. I mean, it was amazing. It was. And I was just happy to be there. And I can't wait to, take part in the next one that they have here in Atlanta.
So, it was so many different things that stuck out to me. Like, I remember when the initial conversation started and when they said church hurt. And I mean, shout out to Pastor Dwight Buckner because he laid it out there. He said, okay, y'all gotta understand. We using this term church hurt, but what we really talking about is people hurt. And I agree with that.
Yeah. Because it's not the church that hurts you, it's the people in the church.
Because the only way that damn building is going to hurt you is if it fall on you.
That's right.
And I think that's what we need to, let's just dive into that real quick. Like, the church is a building.
That's right.
The actual church itself, that brick and mortar is a building. We are the church.
That's right.
The people
make the church.
So, understand that man is fallible. Man gonna fail you all the time. So, something.
No, my stuff falling out.
I think that's when it comes back to another topic that came up. And guys, we're gonna jump around because so many different things happen. But I think that goes to another topic that came up. You remember when Tamika talked about self-love? Shout out to Tamika Scott, because baby, she was quiet.
Yes,
she didn't say a lot, but I could see her burning to get some things out because it's a different. You look at things a lot differently, and I can only speak from my perspective. But for me, I see the world a lot differently when I think about the two people that reared me together day in and day out.
Yeah.
I can't speak from somebody that grew up in a broken home, and I wouldn't try to attempt to speak. I can work with people, I can hear their stories, but the hurts that I've experienced from other people were not really necessarily their fault. It was my fault because I expected them to be like my mama and my daddy.
Right.
So what I took away from yesterday about hurt is that really a lot of the hurts that we experience, while other people may inflict some things on us, a lot of it starts with us because we put ourselves in situations that we shouldn't even be in.
That's true. That's true.
So what was your take on church hurt from yesterday?
It's the same thing. And it seems like it was the people. It was not the church itself. It was the people. And just listening to different people speak about their testimony, so to speak, and in stating how they were hurt because of things that happened to them in the church. That's when I said, okay, well, it's not church hurt, it's people hurt, and it made people, a lot of people had stories about that. I personally haven't experienced church hurt. I believe like Josh Powell has stated that he didn't have, his church wasn't like that. My church wasn't like that either. I was Baptist, okay? So I didn't experience any church hurt, but I have experienced hurt in other aspects of my life, relationship hurt, friendship hurt, but never, have I experienced. Well, let me take that back.
Okay.
Yes, I haven't directly experienced church hurt, but I've seen people in my family experience it. So that hurt me because it hurt them.
Vicarious. Yes,
Absolutely.
Vicarious trauma. So all right. So let's go to the topic. I'm gonna tell you something else that stuck out to me. Do you remember when Tamika acknowledged her husband?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Josh made a statement about women, it being great that a woman acknowledged a man, and it was like everybody was intrigued, like you could hear a little chatter, but for me, I was sitting there like,
that's normal.
That's normal to me. Like,
exactly.
What you mean?
That's
why
I was
great
like, well,
somebody
that's normal. But
that's
then again, you have to look. If people are not happy in their relationship, what they gonna brag about? And it goes both ways. If a man is not happy, he's gonna seek elsewhere for happiness, or he's not gonna brag about you. And the same thing for a woman. Because it's not just the men out here doing wrong. Women do men wrong all the time. And that's what a lot of people don't talk about. But women out here, some of these women out here is just as trifling as they frame the man to be. And that's not talked about.
You know what? And so okay.
I mean, it just went left. But
we did. But let's take it there. And because I personally, I don't mind speaking my piece. But
absolutely.
I really want to hear from Josh. Like, I was like, listen, I want to know, like, tell me more about why that was so intriguing to you. So I asked him, look, come aboard. Because I want to know why that was so intriguing to you. Because that's how I was raised.
That's absolutely how I was raised too.
Baby, we were around strong black men.
I wasn't raised by a woman who taught me to disrespect a man. My mother loved and supported her man. So I wasn't raised like that.
Exactly. Like I say all the time, I may not like what you do. I may not agree with what you do. And I always got to get the last word. So that's just what it is. But it really, I ain't going to say bothered me, but as surprised as he was by that. So guys, Josh Powell is he's the co-creator, and I want to ask him. I want to ask him publicly, like, why were you so intrigued? So Josh, please, how are you? Let me see. Unmute your mic, darling. Okay,
like
Josh, thank you. Thank you for being here. So we're not going to beat you up. We're not going to jump you or anything.
Well, we're not here to do that.
But we have a question. And the question is, well, no, I have a statement. And anybody that know Lillie Mae knows she going to be straight, raw, and uncut. Josh, it bothered me. I was very concerned at how shocked you were or how excited you were that Tamika Scott publicly acknowledged her husband. And I guess it's not that she did it. It's just that it was like, wow. And it bothered me because I was like, but this is normal. Like, my mama and daddy used to do that all the time.
Well, first and foremost, God bless you, Queens. I got to start off by acknowledging and coming in the correct way. I'm gonna try to be quick, you know what I'm saying, because I'm in the middle of something. But first of all, secondly, thank you both for coming and showing up and showing love. Definitely appreciate y'all's presence, your spirit being in the room.
Absolutely.
I wanted to start by, because I know y'all were going back and forth before I got on. So for one, it's not me. Let me just get straight to that. I'll backpedal. But the reason why I was so geeked about what she did was because there are other men in the room that needed to see and hear that. They don't have that example. And what's normal for you all is
It's
not
not
normal
normal
for
for
everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to remember there's a lot of pain in that room.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pain that, you know, they're going to be having that conversation with people about what happened, what event that they went to. And a lot of the brothers that was in there, whether they were with their significant other, whether they were by themselves, whether they were somebody that worked there, the whole point is to touch everybody that's a part and that's in that room.
Mm-hmm.
So to see a woman acknowledge a man in such a way, it is not normal.
Yeah.
And I know that both of you ladies were raised by amazing men and all of that, but everybody doesn't have that story. So to see and get a woman to do that, I just wanted to take that time to acknowledge that, because that is powerful. Because look, I'm very strong and secure in who I am. I don't necessarily need to be praised or uplifted or whatever because of my story, but it does feel good to get that.
Yeah.
And where I'm going with that is what we feel is normal and normalized is not. So therefore, we have to see the examples. And it's also, it should be normal. So to y'all's point, it should be normal. I do agree with you both. It should be something that's normal. But when we can show that and bring something to it, because I know for me on social media, the conversations I'm in, even in my own personal situations, like there are things that I could share where people are trying to tear me down, say all kind of things on what I am not, what I don't do, how I ain't this, how I ain't that. So you'll be surprised how many men don't get that, right? Even if a man is in a healthy relationship with his lady, he might have a child by another woman who is ripping him down constantly, tearing him down.
That's true.
Even if it's a situation where a man might be ripped down by his family. You just never know. Like, everybody's going through it. And then there's this whole thing now where women are publicly like, yo, we don't need a man. What we need y'all for? We work, we make the money, we can raise kids by ourselves. Like, what use do you have? I've seen the clips that have gone viral. And then when you go in the comments, you're getting amens, hallelujahs, praying. Like, you're getting all of this acknowledgement. So trust me, ladies, I wish that more people could be about love and light. I wish that more people can move in a healthy space, in a healthy manner. But that's not the case, which was why we were in that room that night. So I wasn't shocked, but I had to play into that because I do want people to see that it's out there. And a lot of men don't see that. Just like a lot of men don't know that there's women like you two who do respect men.
Right.
I guarantee you, if you really sit down with some brothers, there are a lot of good brothers that are going through it, and the women tear them up. So
That's terrible.
trust me, it is very bad. But just like, and I don't want to seem like, again, I'm one-sided. I know that there are women who are torn down by us men. So don't get it twisted. It's a two-way street, and I get that. But again, that moment was about what she did for her man. Nothing more, nothing less. It just needed to sit. And instead of it just being acknowledged as such, it went somewhere else with it. So that's why I wanted to keep going back to that and praising him, because I'm like, brother, that's dope.
Yeah.
Whether it took 17 years, whether y'all been through the trenches and the battles, none of that matter, because yesterday at 4:00, 4:54 is when she acknowledged and made that statement to big up her man.
She sure did.
So I just think that that's a beautiful thing, man, because we have so many times where people tear people down, and it's like you got to do something in order to receive the comment. You see what I'm saying? But yet our women want to be acknowledged, correct? I know I'm not wrong on that. Like, women want to be acknowledged and appreciated for what they do. So why can't men get that same thing? That's all. That's all
That's
it
true.
was. Nothing more, nothing less. Not that I was broken or that, I've never seen it or what. I know that there are good women out there who uplift their men. And I know that there are good men out there who uplift their women. But majority of the people, queens, aren't in your shoes. Just always remember that. And I appreciate y'all for giving me the time to come on here to clear that up.
Absolutely.
So Josh, I do have another question if you got a minute. So when you exist in the capacity of being this public figure, because when people talk about you, let's just be real. We have to acknowledge the who you are before we can even talk about the why, because there's a story to you as a human being, you as a father, you as an athlete, you as XYZ. So when you're existing in this place and you are on this platform and it's all about, being purposeful and being intentional with your healing, how do you feel that you're able to give us a revival as you're processing through your own revival?
Because I'm showing people that I'm no different than they are,
Mm.
which is one of the most humble ways to serve.
Mm.
Miss Lillie Mae, you know, we've had multiple conversations, and one of the things that I did tell you was I know God brought me here to serve.
Yeah.
And that means that if I got to be drugged through the mud, if I got to have clay stains on me, whatever that looks like, my shirt be torn, my jeans being ripped, holes in my socks, then I got to be that type of example to show people that it is possible. Then that's what it is.
Mm.
I don't look at myself as the things that I've done or accomplished. I look at myself as someone who is humble, who has gone through my own set of trials and tribulations, who has and is still figuring life out. I'm still growing and on my journey and my process, but I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm literally enjoying every moment of it. When I put up a post the other night giving thanks for all of my failures, because falling, getting back up, falling, getting back up, but just knowing that I don't have that quit and I'm still trying and I'm still going, people who are in those same places shoes should be proud of themselves, because you're still continuing to move forward. Whether it's this big or whether it's this big, it don't matter. Just keep going. That's all, because your breakthrough is coming. Whatever that looks like, your blessing or whatever you have to overcome is right around the corner.
Mm.
And that's the thing that I'm trying to give to people, is just some type of hope. Like, see yourself, value who you are, love who you are, appreciate who you are. Like, get back to those values and morals that we seem to not have anymore. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's perfect. That's why I ended the event talking about grace and how we need to extend that to each other. Grace is so powerful, because all of us who are willing to cast stones and have that big old gavel and hit that thing to place judgment upon people, just
That's
remember, you're
true.
going to be in that same seat one day.
See?
You're going to do
Hello,
something, you're going to hurt somebody, you're going to do something that you're going to let somebody die. I literally disappoint somebody every day. Guess what? I got kids. So every day somebody's going to be upset, right?
yeah.
But all I could do is extend grace and tell them that, hey, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm trying the best that I can at the end of the day. And that's what that's what I want people to understand and recognize, men and women. Just do your best. Control what you can control. And that's only you. You can't do nothing about anything else. Just do what you can and keep moving forward. That doesn't mean that we don't have pain. That doesn't mean that we don't deal with trauma. That doesn't mean that we don't have other things that may be heavy on our hearts. That's not what I'm saying either, that you don't acknowledge that. But I'm saying move forward. Don't stay stuck in that. Stop making the excuses. You're a powerful human being. Move forward and cut it out. That's what I want to remind people about. That's how I can relate. Not Josh Powell, the NBA player or the two-time, like, scratch out that. Josh Powell is just a servant of the Most High. That's it. I can relate to you on whatever level you want. At the end of us relating, just understand it will get better. Move forward. Don't stay stuck.
Wow.
That's good advice.
Yes, thank you. And Josh, for real, we have to, guys, I want you to understand something. Transparency through truth. That was very intentional. One of the things I can say is that from meeting Josh and now actually getting really to know who he is as a person, transparency through truth, he lives that. So make sure tonight you go over and check him out live on IG. He's definitely, are you still going to do a live?
I do plan on it. Gearing
Well,
that
he
thing
might
up.
be
Like,
lying.
I'm
If
gonna
he
give it
live
up.
and y'all my friend, I share it to y'all inbox. He might be
Please,
lying.
please do. Please do.
All right, thank you, Josh, for coming on, and we
Hey,
will.
Thank you.
ladies, anytime, y'all. Listen, y'all are doing amazing things. I love y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. So, all right, we have another guest that wants to come on, but we're gonna jump back in real quick and just kind of really synthesize that. Okay, so Classe, he really made some valid points.
Absolutely.
You know, but you know that has always been my struggle. Like, I never really understood until I really got grown, and I still struggle with it now that everybody didn't grow up like me.
No,
But do you know that sometimes I feel guilty that
because
I
it's
grew
not
up the
it's
way
not
I
no
grew
fault
up?
of your own. I mean, everybody's different. So everybody grew up different. You know, some people grew up in broken homes. Some people grew up with just their father, not their mother. Some people grew up with just their mother, not their father. Some
Absolutely.
people didn't have any parents at all. They grew up by their grandparents. So I mean, you know, it's just I think that whomever raised them instilled the values in them that they had within themselves. And everybody walking the earth is not good. So then you have to think about that. If you meet someone who was raised by someone that wasn't great, you know, what are you going to get? It's a product of their environment. Can they change? Absolutely. But they have to recognize that there's an issue to even change it.
And I think that
Nobody's perfect. No one's
true,
perfect, you
true,
know, but a
true.
lot of people walk around here feeling as though they are. No one's perfect, you know, and just like he said, everyone wants to be the judge, you know, and hit that gavel, but no one wants to sit there on the receiving end.
You know what? Now let me ask you this. One of the things, and we're gonna bring Miss Christina wanted to come, you know, she wanted to jump on tonight. Um, one of the things that also struck me was the amount of hurt that was in the room, period.
Mhm.
And I know we all go through things, but I was scanning the room from time to time, looking at faces, even on the panel, like just looking around. And I was just like, I kind of felt out of place. And I'm gonna tell
But
you why.
I felt in place because even though I didn't experience their hurt, I had it was some triggers for me because I'm not sitting here walking, you know, without pain.
But
And
no,
I
but when
didn't
I
grow.
say out
Let
of
me
place, though,
just say
sister,
this. I had a strong woman raise me. Now I had a stepfather that came in my life. My father was not in my life, but I don't have daddy issues because I had strong role models.
but
I
when
don't
I
have
say
daddy
out of
issues.
place, though, I say that because sometimes I feel like we put light on all these external triggers
Mm-hmm.
when, like Tamika said, self-love.
Absolutely.
So, but I guess the bigger issue is how do you get there if, like you said, the person that raised you,
Didn't instill that in you.
so it goes back, but
But
then
then
it's like,
that's when you get into faith. And then that's when you say, there's always God. And through God, all things are possible.
true.
So you
True.
can go from being terribly disgusting to being one of the angels that walk the earth. You really can. You
Yeah,
just, it's all about prayer and faith, having a faith, you know, and just you can persevere. They say prayer, perseverance. Absolutely. So I don't think that just because that was instilled in them that they have to resonate with that pain. They can keep moving, you know. Um, it's just if they choose to. A part of the problem is most people don't see that they have an issue. Most people think that they're out here walking around perfect and you got to do this for me because I'm perfect. But do you not realize that you're the issue? You keep wondering why, for example, why does it I can't keep a woman in my life? Maybe it's because you're broken. Maybe you had, like they said yesterday, you got to fix yourself and be whole within yourself. You don't need people to come and bring into you. Be whole within yourself. If you want, and another thing that I heard them say is like women are out here saying, I don't need a man. Then you're not a whole woman. Because every woman on this earth needs a man. Now, I'm not saying anything about your preference or anything like that. I'm just saying, period. No one is meant to be by them.
Everybody, and I think that's the point. You just hit the nail on the head. Like, my mom used to always say, and I think you and I have had this conversation. My mom used to always be like, you don't need no entourage, but a faithful few is all you need. So it concerns me that really and truly, I hear it more often than not. Some people literally don't have anybody at all. And that bothers me too, because it's like, okay, everybody has at least one somebody.
They should. But some people, then you have to go back to personality traits, and it's all psychological. Like if they're, just say it's an introverted person who doesn't has communication issues, and then they walk around and they feel lonely because they don't know how to communicate and have friends. That might be an issue for them. You know what I mean? Like everybody, I'm borderline introvert, extrovert, but I have plenty of friends. You know what I mean? But I love everyone. I don't give off hate. I give off love.
Child,
Some
you ain't no introverted. I'm not accepting that.
I am introverted sometimes.
Well, let's see what Miss Christina. Hold on, Miss Christina. So, guys, Miss Christina is here. And Christina, tell us a little bit about, what you felt yesterday.
Yesterday I felt like it could have went deeper had everyone been honest and open with hurt, whether that was relationship or church hurt. I feel like it was a great platform and it wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
If you want to unpack such a heavy conversation like that, it can't be wrapped up in 2 hours. Because if you're trying to break generational curses and break relationship issues and break church hurt, that's going to take some time. That's like the old baptism, the testimony service, when you there for hours upon hours.
Mm-hmm.
Getting purged.
Yep.
So it's like that conversation should have been longer. There should have been more guided, direct questions, so it wasn't so all over the place and everyone felt like they had to find a topic. When it came to Q&A, I think Q&A should have been in between several different parts, not at the end. Because if I have a daunting question right then and there, I want to ask it. I don't want to wait 2-3 hours to ask it because then I may have forgotten it. I think there should have been a licensed therapist on that panel as well, because we don't talk as within the Black culture about going to see a therapist, because sometimes church hurt can be so daunting and so piercing in your soul. You need to go see a therapist. We know God is a healer and a therapist too, but sometimes you got to go see his helpmates that he may get the license to be a therapist. Other than that, I think it was really good. I think it was a great conversation that needs to continue to happen, that needs to continue to expand, that needs to start into small groups and grow into different churches and grow into different clubs and cliques, because it was a great conversation and I felt was just not given enough light to be able to fully blossom for those that were dealing with church hurt or relationship hurt, to be able to break free from that, or at least get some type of a path on how to break free from it.
So, that's real interesting. And that's why, tonight in the recap, we named it Transparency Through Truth. Because I think this is the thing. I agree with both of y'all. It was dope. I definitely left there feeling a lot different than when I first got there because I really didn't know what to expect. And I'm gonna be real with you. I was like, now listen, I pray the Lord. I ain't about to go up in here and hear nobody trying to tell me how to be in no relationship because I was with the same person for 12 years and I know what was wrong. I was wrong because I won't compromise in my education and my career for nothing. So, so I was like, you ain't really got to tell me what I want to know. I really want to know about this church hurt. But what I found was that in talking about church hurt, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Really, we just talked about a whole lot of societal ills that are infiltrating our culture and have been in our culture. And you know what really, and I hope y'all, Chanel, Josh, I hope y'all still listening, because what I really think y'all should have really named that joint, it should have been called What Goes On in This House Stays in This House, because that's what I heard yesterday. That was the theme of yesterday. That's the problem. See, I went against the grain. I would never forget, y'all gonna die when I say this. I never forget, my dad was like, well, we're not going to DC for the family reunion or for something because I'm tired of driving my Cadillac up the road and everybody want to get in the Cadillac. Well, when my aunt from DC called, I told her what he said. Y'all, I got in so much trouble. And I remember him saying that. Well, fast forward to my career now, when I'm talking to these kids, and mama's man or daddy's girl touching them, and they can't tell because what goes on in this house stays in this house, and you wondering why you got brothers and sisters and cousins touching on each other. That's what I heard yesterday.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of that, y'all. I mean, so, like, Christina, what else stuck out to you?
The vulnerability of the panel. Like, me and Lillie, me and you talked about that earlier today. I now look at Jason in a completely different light.
I do too. I said the same thing.
All of us.
I had such a negative condensation about he planted in my head just based off of what I heard, what I had been around prior to free from some things. So seeing him yesterday and hearing him talk about what happened and him humbling himself and talking about that journey he went through, it gave me a greater respect for Jason Lee. Because when I saw he was going to be on, I was like, oh God, it's about to be full of drama.
That's what I said.
Nope.
He about to ain't gonna have nothing to do with the panel. Like I would prefer not to even hear him speak.
Yes.
Him speak, for me, he was more impactful than the pastor.
He was very.
That's big because you had a man of God and you had a man that's chasing after God. There's a difference.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. For me, the man chasing after God captivated me more than the man that works with God.
But you know something, I think, all right, so let me put a spin on it. You know, I remember Pastor Buckner saying to separate the people in the church from the church itself. But I think we also have to think about the titles, because you remember, if you remember carefully, Buckner talked about titles and the fact that we assess people and evaluate the way that they should be and present themselves based on their title. But the reality is that a title is something that can be stripped. And when you lay down at night, no, forget that. When they put you in that grave or in that incinerator and burn you up so you'll be ashes again, you ain't got no title.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And I think that sometimes we put people on a pedestal based upon our self-assessment of who we are. And not
that's social media. I don't think it's us. It's social media, because if social media wasn't here, they wouldn't be on that same pedestal.
But then I can take it a step further from social media. It's how you approach church. If we start going about church hurt and church titles, you were told as a little girl, that's Deacon so-and-so.
And as Pastor,
So, and you give them the utmost respect. I don't care what they tell you to do. You do it because that's the hierarchy that they have. So if they're touching you, then you're getting a hierarchy that you're supposed to, because your mama told you, your grandmother told you, that's Deacon so-and-so. You give him the utmost respect and you do whatever he tell you to do. So
See,
you know,
y'all were obedient kids, though. See, I think that's why I'm mad at y'all, because y'all was obedient.
Who said y'all was obedient? You who said I was?
I
Who
told
said I was obedient? I was bad as ever.
when Josh talked about for boys and girls in church, I could definitely relate, because I was one of them, because I was a PK. I didn't know about the little well-kept, oh, thank you, Jesus. No. We was planning youth retreats to figure out who we was going to sleep with that particular week. So I didn't know about the good, well-kept Christians. We was the nasty Christians. I was the president of the fellowship club.
She probably gonna have to.
I was the president of the celibacy club, and I had no virginity whatsoever. But I was telling you, stay pure. Take the card. You better stay pure. Keep them legs closed. And I was busting it wide open when I left. So it's like I knew what Josh talked about as far as the church part of it.
True. Oh. Okay. So, all right. Wow. And guys, if you're just checking in, we are we're going back through CheMinistry on yesterday and just really having an intentional conversation about what we witnessed. But class, the reason I said y'all were obedient, like, you know, when they were talking about church hurt, and I understand that everybody's church hurt is different. And some people's church hurt are a result of people with titles. It happens with kids. Some people's church hurt is the result of lusting in the church, because you know you always got, especially if you got, it ain't even got to be no young pastor, because I'm gonna tell you, we've always had old pastors in my church, and I watched the women lust after them, and I'm like, oh, that is nasty. Like,
yeah.
I don't want no man with no title. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't want your title, because with your title gonna come a whole bunch of bullshit, and I don't need it.
That's not necessarily true though, because I'm gonna tell you, back thinking of, okay, not just with church, I'm just talking about titles. Okay, now I've dealt with people who had a very high status, and then I've dealt with someone who is the epitome of a blue collar worker. And what I'm gonna tell you is that blue collar worker had more shiggity with them than the person with the higher status. So don't get it twisted and think because of these titles, these people are on them. People are on these regular, schmegular, begular people as well. And the one that hurt my feelings the most was that blue collar worker. Because I already expected nonsense from this higher title. But that one that I said, okay, well, we should be, because that's where my feelings.
But you know, some class, I wonder then if we really do expect certain things, and that's what we get. Because for me, it's reversed.
I have no expectations.
I expect foolishness.
I don't even expect people to treat me the way that I treat them. I hope that they would.
Okay.
I have no expectations. I don't walk in expecting anything.
Okay.
I just simply say, this is what I have. I don't have expectations. I don't expect you to be good. I don't expect you to be bad. I just want to see what you are and learn.
And you know what? Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm still a growing in the load, because baby, one thing about it, I'm not gonna match your energy, because
I don't match energy either. I don't argue.
I'm not matching your energy.
I don't argue.
But I will say that growing up being taught to treat others the way you want to be treated, but then becoming an adult and my mother saying, you know what? Y'all daddy sure messed y'all up with that. Because see, he wouldn't let me tell y'all the rest of mine. Treat others the way you want to be treated, but don't expect that shit in return. And honey, now that I know that, it's still hard to reverse what I was taught. Because like Josh said, when you have been taught to serve, you can't get rid of that. And when you've been taught to expect an entitlement, you can't get rid of that either.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think what's happening, we live in a culture of a little bit of us that were taught to serve, but a whole lot of folk that's entitled, and that's where we get messed up. Because we want to serve, and people that's entitled with all these expectations misuse us. Because you know what? let's talk about this word use, and then we're gonna come back. I finally had to realize something. Shout out to Frank, because Frank helped me realize this. He said, Lillie, stop saying people used you, because we all were put here to be used. Just don't be abused or misused.
That's a word right there.
Not your cranberry juice with the word.
Girl, this is ginger ale and Tropicana fruit punch.
And I wasn't
How you making church
thirsty,
transparent?
parched.
Well, because I didn't have any Welch's grape
Can
juice.
I put up
and
the church one and get myself something to drink?
Yeah. I didn't have any grape juice today, and they did virtual communion. So I wanted it to look almost like communion juice. So I just mixed fruit punch and ginger ale.
So you made church punch.
Well, no, because I didn't put the pineapple juice in it. You know the church punch is pineapple juice, fruit punch. Well, no, Kool-Aid, red.
Wait, so transparency and truth. Is Josh single? Praise God.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We will get all the praise that is needed. Okay. You want to feel validated, baby? I got you.
And we're gonna get back to CheMinistry, the recap of the rebirth. Cheers.
We're gonna rebirth something, all right. Praise God. You need
What you got over there in that cup?
Sweet
She
red
got some wine. Look like a little bit of wine.
That cup is runneth and over.
It is. Praise God.
My cup runneth over.
Oh my God, guys, we're having fun, guys, but we really, I will honestly admit, I came home last night revived.
Me too.
And the revival was a direct result of
CheMinistry.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I think the most important part, it was the fellowship.
Yeah.
See, what people couldn't see because everybody was looking forward at the panel, you didn't see the warmth coming off of everybody in that building.
Yeah.
People came in
And
kind of in their groups,
and
but people left collectively.
Yep.
They sure did. I met
People
me a
didn't
whole lot
want to
of
leave
people. Like,
last night. People wanted to stand around and commune and fellowship.
Absolutely.
I want to see CheMinistry bigger. Like their next tour stop, I want to go just to see the dynamics of it. Like I want it needs to be bigger. It because of the impact that it has, that it will have. So I think Chanel and Josh don't realize the impact that this whole movement is getting ready to have.
It's big.
Because it's needed, and the fact that you're not making me religious. You're just telling me to express my hurt.
Yep.
And whether I'm saved, baptized, Holy Ghost filled, it does not matter. You're just telling me to address my hurt and how to work through my hurt. I think it was supposed to be a book on love and how to get your man and how to be on the next level up. It was so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
It was. I agree.
That book, I'm gonna be complete. Josh, I still love you. I don't know about buying that book, but I would buy the CheMinistry book if it touched on exactly what it touched on yesterday. And
I came out of there feeling filled too.
Yeah,
I really did. I felt, and I agree with you about that book. I'm like, now a CheMinistry book, that would be amazing.
It was so awkward when she was like, Josh, don't forget to mention the book. He was so in a different place. He was just like, I was gonna go somewhere else, but make sure you buy the book. I don't want to buy that book. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't want to buy that book. Josh, I love you. I love your mama, but I don't want to buy that book. Now, if you want to box up what you did yesterday and put it into a book, I'd buy that.
That's deep.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Yeah, that's definitely fair.
Well, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Well, because my mother is a retired, she was the head of the library system in her city. Shout out to my mama.
Yeah, shout out to mamas.
I will. I like to read. I love to read. So I will probably get the book, what it's about. You know, I love to read. It's nothing more peaceful to me than to turn off all my devices, you know, go to bed, lay down across my bed with my hot tea and a book. And I like to feel the book. I don't want nothing on no iPad. I want to feel the book, you know, and read because I feel like it keeps feeding my mind. So all that to say, I might read it just because I'm curious. This piques my curiosity.
One Classe, tell me about the book. I'm being it's transparency through truth. I'm being
That's right. You very yep.
The book, even with the whole leveling up and you're dating, and that's not what captivated me. That I could care less about that part. I can go to my pastor, my therapist, Lillie, big sis. Somebody can help me work through the next level going through a relationship. But when it came to what we talked about yesterday,
that was deep.
It was different.
That's unheard. It was different. It made
everybody should have been there.
It made me want to be like, when's the next?
That's what I said. I'm going to the next one.
When's the retreat? I feel like I'm back in youth church. Mine is no hunching on each other. But when's the retreat?
Right. When is it?
When's the retreat? Chanel and Josh.
The next stop, I know the next stop is in March. And matter of fact, I will post. I'll post.
But I know that they said that they're coming back to Atlanta.
Yeah,
every time they're in Atlanta, I will be here. I'm going.
I know the next stop is in Charlotte.
Lillie, come on, that's just a drive.
Yeah, but child, you look where my life be. I don't know where I might be in Charlotte, Jesus. I don't know where I might be in March.
Don't neither one of us know we're gonna be in March. But if we're yet living on this side of glory and we ain't got nothing planned.
I'm gonna be here, Lord, because I know He gonna keep me.
I know that's right on this side of glory. I like that.
You heard me? Lillie, you heard me? Josh gonna keep me. Amen.
Oh my God. Can we please stay on topic, man?
That is on topic. Transparency through truth.
Oh my
hey,
God.
Josh.
Oh Jesus. Oh Lord. See, this is how church starts. Like,
Josh went to the same type of church hurt I went through, the nasty credence.
Oh my Lord. Lord, there was too many older people in my church. That's just nasty.
Oh no, see, no. Like I told you, I went through the church hurt where I was show colorism in my church. My youth pastor was light skinned and his girlfriend was dark skinned, and his family told him absolutely under no circumstances could he marry her, no matter how much he was in love with her, because they didn't want dark grandchildren.
Oh.
So I was taught at a very young age not to like the skin that I was in, because I looked at my mentor who was badly in love with my youth pastor, and she was told she was not good enough.
Oh. Wow.
We was brought up on a don't ask, don't tell. We were brought up on the whatever goes in this house stays on this house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's tough. Like, you know,
that's what you just said, Lillie.
Oh
what goes on in this house stays in this house. That's what you said it should have been called.
Yeah,
I was brought up on I'm gonna drop you off at church and I'll be back in a few hours.
Ooh. Y'all, wait a minute. Hold on. We got to take a minute. Y'all remember Miss USA 2019?
Yeah, she committed suicide earlier.
Yeah.
Wow.
You committed suicide?
Yes, ma'am.
She jumped off of a high rise.
What? Okay, y'all see, I haven't watched the news today. What?
Girl, I don't watch news. I just go on Instagram.
Well, I mean, yeah, I haven't been on no social media. I mean, I haven't really been, you know, in the social community today. Very early, and then that's it. I haven't been on since about noon.
Honey,
sometimes you need a detox from that. So
you know, and that's what I was about to say, y'all. Like, I noticed that for the past couple of weeks, like, I merely only get on social media to post my flyers and stuff for my shows. And if something hit me, I might post a quote or something. But y'all, I noticed, like, I don't be scrolling through the social media now. Like, I think too, the other part of it is I understand more completely what the older people used to mean when they were saying an idle mind is the devil's playground. Because I'm actually productive, and I'm not going to say busy, because it's a whole lot of people that's busy doing nothing and not producing nothing. But because I've been very productive, like, I don't have time for
what you laughing at?
my phone. It's my phone. Um,
I'm gonna call you after this. Figure out what
um, it's just it's sad.
Yeah.
And like even that, for instance, is just so sad because it goes back to what I say all the time. Like in class note, I tell her this all the time. I'm not. I told, and now I just told her this. I'm not getting dressed up for no darn live, man. These people have to see me how I am. The only reason I got
I mean, I ain't did my hair. I normally at least comb my hair, but it just wasn't that kind of day for me today.
Girl, let me tell you something. You know,
I threw on my little baseball cap. I said, I gotta give them what I got.
This is my go-to. This is my go-to. My white bonnet and my hot orange scarf.
I know that's right.
I put on the shirt because you said you was gonna add me. I promise you, I'm to this joint sports bra cooking dinner.
Oh my god. So, all right, guys, really and truly, because we're gonna get ready to close out. Christina, what would you say though was your key takeaway from yesterday?
My key takeaway was that I'm not the only one dealing with church hurt or relationship hurt, and that there's a village of people that got through it. So it gives me hope to know that I can get through it too.
Oh yes.
That was good.
All right, Miss Classe.
My takeaway was first and foremost, I'm gonna go visit that pastor's church in Decatur or Decatur or wherever it is.
I can't go to that pastor church. I'm gonna go ahead and be completely transparent and truthful.
I want to go about the single stuff.
I would lust. No, I'm gonna stay with my little janky pastor I got. I can't go to that pastor church. The flesh is weak. I couldn't pay attention. I'd be like,
you'd be like,
hit that call, pastor. No,
pastor.
I'll stay where I'm at.
But my takeaway was, well, number one, it left me wanting more. Like Miss Christina said, it really did. I'm like, okay, when's it coming back to Atlanta? I want more, you know. And again, like piggybacking off what you said, also 2 hours was definitely not enough time, because in an hour, you know, you're seeing everybody's representative the first hour, and then when they start to take those layers off, we're going into the second hour, and then we're wrapping up, and it's like, no, we just get into the meat of it. So, but I felt fulfilled. Again, I'm hearing some stories. I felt, how could I say? Like you said, I placed judgment on certain people that were on the panel. Well, I'll just say Jason. I placed judgment on him prior to hearing his story.
Yeah, we talked about
I left there feeling filled with compassion, you know, and then I kind of had to say, well, dang, you know, it made me look back on how I view a lot of people. You know, you can't judge a book by their cover. So I just felt filled and yearning for more. And I wish it would talk more about, I just wish it was longer. Yeah, I just really wish it was longer.
I agree.
Because I mean, it could have got so deep and it didn't, you know. Yeah. If it was just a little longer, give us like 3 hours, that would be dope. But yeah, it's got to be a little longer. Because I'm sitting there like, no, don't wrap up now. It's getting good, you know.
Oh, Lord.
What did you take away?
Shoot. I think the biggest thing I took away was that you definitely have to heal before you try to help. And not completely heal, but you have to heal to a point of peace within.
Because you just made me drop my phone.
You can be no.
I seen it.
Wait. Because I am in a helping profession. I have to deal with this every day. When I deal with children who have lost a parent, I have to sometimes still pass that case off because my father was my everything. So grief of a child who loses a daddy, whether it's of his fault, whether it's violence, whatever it is, I feel that. It's 18 years later and I still have to pass it off. So I mean that thing. You have to be at a point, you have to be on the other side of grief. You have to be on that acceptance side of your healing. Because when we talk about healing, nobody wants to associate healing and grief, but it works together. Because when you get hurt, you lose something.
Hurt people.
And grief and loss, they go hand in hand, baby.
They sure do.
So I think what I took away yesterday, I was like, dang, Lil, like some people you bled on didn't even cut you because you weren't healed. So some of the things that we project on other people are a direct representation of our untended wounds. And you can't just put a Band-Aid on a wound because that wound needs air. You remember when you fell outside and scraped your knee, your grandparent or your parent would put some sass on it, as they used to call it. Now go back out there and play. My grandma and them didn't put no bandages on it because you know what they used to say? It needs some air. Y'all need to let these wounds get some air. Me included. Because we out here bleeding on people that did not cut
us. I know that's right.
And that was my takeaway yesterday, ladies. Thank you.
Now.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I think we're going over to Instagram Live in a little while. So we definitely appreciate it. Hopefully, we can just come back, y'all, for real. And just have these conversations from time to time. And bring a friend. Let's just do this from time to time. Bring a friend. Let's chat. Let's just have a good time.
Okay.
Cause y'all right. We probably could have stayed there all night. We could have been like, y'all remember back in the day when they used to have it, revival for real, and that people just we could have really had a
sitting on the mourner's bench
Absolutely.
about 6-7 hours, still mourning on that bench. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And we came out there feeling filled for 2 hours.
We did.
But how full would we have been if we had 4?
And do y'all realize why we were so full? Because we were sitting amongst real people and not people sitting up on pedestals.
Okay, let's go.
Preaching at us. Did y'all think about that? Now let's
Absolutely.
we gotta hit this before we leave. How many of y'all have ever felt like when you went to church that all you heard was fire and brimstone? You didn't hardly hear grace, mercy, repentance, and forgiveness.
It was what Jason said when you go into certain churches, and he was like, "Oh, that man not anointed. I can't stay in his church."
Yep.
It's the same thing. When you know you're around authentically unique people who share the same common goal, who genuinely want to learn and genuinely want to unload their grief and unpack it to understand it, you can feel that.
Yeah.
You feel that shift.
Absolutely. I think one second, because I think hold on. Let me see. I think Mr. Josh is gonna come back and close us out with what he wanted us to take away.
Look at Kristen.
With Lord, help us, Jesus. Help us, so get your lust under control, please.
He not no pastor. Stop playing.
You don't know that. You don't know what he on his way.
Hey, baby, me and Josh can open up a whole church together. All right, he can be the pastor. I'll be the first lady. Just don't touch or try to cover my man.
We're gonna help her, Lord. We're gonna pray for her, Lord.
He said he was meant to be a servant. Me too. Praise God.
Amen.
Amen. We can serve together.
But yeah, I mean, Lord, I don't know what to say sometimes, Lord. I told y'all, transparency through truth. This is all things authentic. We legit have a fun time, a great time.
Maybe this
You
is a
know.
podcast right here. We need to figure out how we can put all three of us on the podcast.
So I think he having some technical difficulties. So hopefully he can that camera will work in a little bit.
I need to see the whole face.
Oh, help him. Help you, Lord.
Praise God.
Jesus.
I done met the mama and everything. I'm like in there. Boom. But what I will say while we waiting for Josh to get his phone stuff together, Tamika Scott had more to say, but she didn't say it.
Yeah. But you know what? Honestly, I think she was strategic with what she said, because the thing, it's not to say that she didn't have any hurt, but she's at a healed place. And she's been healed for some time. So when you really, like, that's what I'm saying. That's why when you talk about healing, you got to talk about the stages of grief. Because when you get on the other side of that, life looks different. And that's why I'm saying, like, when you talk about healing, you have to talk about the stages of grief. Because see, when you think about grief, you got the denial, right? Then you get angry. Then you start trying to bargain. Then you go into a state of depression before you get to acceptance. And the issue with that is this: if you're still in the denial, anger, and bargaining stages, you cannot effectively be an advocate.
No, because there's certain triggers will trigger you back to what you thought you were healed from.
That's right.
Boom.
Thank you.
Oh, somebody said comedy show on the rise. Oh my God.
Praise God.
I cannot. I cannot. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. So, Josh, let us know
praise God. Hey,
what you
Josh.
wanted us. Listen, lustful lady.
Hey, Josh.
Oh my God. Lord, she lusting in the spirit, Jesus.
In the spirit and the flesh.
We're going to take her out in the flesh. All right, Josh, give us a little bit of what you guys wanted us to walk away with yesterday.
That people are imperfect, that everyone wants to be heard and a chance to be understood, and that we all have a lot of healing to go through. It was so much to take away from yesterday, but again, the thing that I am the most happiest with is people regaining their power by sharing their stories and giving people a version, like being able to be transparent, and you can see the confidence as each word continued to come out as being a part of their story. And that's why I do what I do in regards to, everything with CheMinistry or coming on Instagram Live or doing interviews and stuff like that, to see people take that next step and really just, really, excuse my kids, but just taking that step, man, is so powerful. And salute to everybody that shared. It wasn't about us as panelists or hosts or anything like that. You can say, hey, go ahead.
Hello.
They said hello.
Hola.
All right, get out of here. I'll be up in a second. All right. But I just think that's the most amazing thing, Jason, Pastor, Miss Scott did such amazing jobs. Salute to each one of the panelists for everything that they brought to the table. I thought, Miss Jordan was on point. Chanel did her thing. So I just want to give everybody their roses. But I'm just proud of everyone that spoke up and shared very deep, touching, hurtful stories, but it shows the power. And that's the part that people got to understand. Like, you're not the only one. There's so many people that are going through things, and we have normalized dysfunction so much that we got to start normalizing the healing process and that pattern. So that was my beautiful takeaway from yesterday. I wish we had 3 more hours to keep diving into, everything that was going on, but it goes to show how this can grow and mature into something even more beautiful, because it's something that's needed. People want to talk. People want to express themselves. People want to know, like, there's other people out there that they can look towards, or some type of support group or something. And the fact that we had all walks of life in there, being able to come together and share an understanding was powerful, in my opinion. It was just truly powerful. So I appreciate all of you all for showing up. It just goes to show that we have more work to do and how we need to continue to serve. So that would be my challenge to you all. Like, how can we do that? You know what I mean?
Wow. Well, you listen, I will give you a list. I believe in homework. But no, seriously, thank you. Thank you to CheMinistry 2.0, the Rebirth. Thank you, Epi Media Group, for even putting, supporting with putting everything together. Thank you to First Class. Thank you to Nicole. We all left there better than when we got there. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what it was about.
Absolutely.
Being better than you were when you first came in. And so, guys, it's always a pleasure. Transparency through truth. All things authentic. And I feel like there are some other things coming down the pike from someone here. And I really want you to wrap your hands and your head around the fact that there are people out here that are born servant leaders. They are born servant leaders. They had to be in the fire like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And now you're looking at them, and see, you're looking at them like they burnt and soot filled.
Josh not burnt.
He know.
Josh not burnt. He not burnt.
He know what it is. And because he knows what it is, he can use that to show you how his blood will make you whiter than snow. So I'm telling you what I know. Stay tuned, because what you're going to see in the next months and years to come is going to blow your secular and your spiritual mind. It's your girl, Lillie Mae, and we out.
God bless.